Hello and welcome back to the Captain Podcast. And I need to stop doing that. But anyways, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Tapped In Podcast. I am your host, Bailey, and in today's episode, I want to get into talking about creativity and how she is our friend. And I'm referring to creativity as a she because I personally feel that resonates with me. I feel like creativity is feminine energy, and I feel that being creative includes just tapping in to your feminine and letting the reverence flow through you instead of feeling like you have to work super hard at it. I think creativity just flows through us and without us really having to do much of anything except exist. So I want to tap into our creative energy today, and in the midst of it, I am also going to be doing a get ready with me. I'm not going to really talk about the products I'm using or anything. I'm really just going to kind of just be doing my makeup as we chat. So I have been getting into the artist way, I'm sure as many of you guys know. And I do like to pride myself in the fact that I've already primed my face. Anyway, sorry for the audio listeners. I'm going to try my best to not talk about makeup as I'm doing it, because if you're just listening to the audio, I'm sure that that's annoying. But I pride myself in being one of those people that knew about the artist way before it blew up on TikTok. So that's why I feel a lot different about the artist way, because I'm not necessarily like one of those people that was just like, it's trendy, So like, I really am doing it also for the right reasons as well. Like, I didn't even know that Doechii did the artist way prior to her extreme blowout. So I just love knowing that as well. It definitely brings a lot of reassurance to me that like you can be in any position in life and start this book, and then you can kind of end up, you don't know where you can end up, because this book allows your creativity to just kind of flourish out of you. And it's so crazy because I started this book and it's just like I'm learning so much about myself in the midst of this book. Like, there's a lot that's coming up for me. Like, not only is it tapping into your like health, like your healing, your spiritual healing, but it's also tapping into how it's blocking your creativity, and how like if you don't heal and mend parts of you that you've been ignoring, then like it's going to block your creativity. And I pretty much want to get into today of like how you can allow your healing to aid you in your creative journey, and vice versa, how your healing or how your creativity can aid in your healing journey, because it's all really tied together. Especially like, I'm sure you guys notice like the art that we feel so attached to is because it's coming from a place of our understanding, and it's coming from a place of where we can understand the pain that the artist is trying to express. And so I feel like if we can find a way for us to tap into our own energetic healing, then there's got to be a way that, first of all, other people are feeling the same and they could really get something from your art. But also, if you feel like that you're just in a creative block and you feel like that there's just something in you that just doesn't know what to create, doesn't know how to create it, I think my first piece of advice is to just allow the block to pass. Because truly, for me, for example, like I feel like when I moved into this new place, I became in such a rut. Like I got in such a creative rut, and I was so confused and concerned because before I moved, I was just like, I felt so like on top of the world, and I felt like creatively I was just like, wow, like I feel so inspired, and I really felt like in a place, like before I moved, I felt like I was in a place where I was like the most creatively free I've ever felt, like in my adulthood. And I loved how I was feeling. And then the artist way, like I was just really resonating with everything. And then as soon as I moved, I got into this headspace that was really just like I was in a rut. I just felt like nothing was coming to mind. And I just felt that I was blocked. And, I don't want to say that I'm fully out of the trenches yet, because personally I feel like that there's always so much more that I could be doing creatively. But I just feel like what's helping me realize that I need to kind of like grow out of this rut is to just kind of like sit in it, which is uncomfortable, but I think that it's cool and like something that can really help you aid in your creative block is just kind of journal. Journaling especially is my number one advice, and it's the key thing in the artist way that Julia recommends you to do is to journal. Just like write down exactly what is like running through your head and just write it all out so that you can kind of just like get it out of your head. And a lot of people don't know how to journal, and a lot of people don't really understand like why we should journal. Or some people's like, my hand hurts, like I can't journal, like it hurts my hand. Girl, I'm sorry, that's just not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like voice note, like speaking into your phone, like something, you know what I mean? But I just really feel like journaling is great because it's how source can speak to us. I feel like whenever we speak or think, we are filtered out with all of like the negativity that our brain has, and it's filtered out by like worldly things. I feel that when we write, it's such an easier way to get communicated to by source, because of the fact that we are kind of just like letting our hand free flow, and we're letting our hand just free write. Like when you journal, you don't really have to think. Like when you journal, you don't really have to overanalyze and just, you know what I mean? Like when you journal, you don't even have to spell things right, like, because it's really meant for your eyes and your eyes only. And like, I just feel that when we're in a place of just writing and free writing and letting it just flow out of us, there's so much that can be uncovered, and so much more than we might think can be uncovered. And I just really feel like it takes you wanting to learn. It takes you wanting to put in the effort to actually like want to learn more about yourself and want to learn like, okay, why do I feel creatively blocked right now? Like that can even be a journal prompt. Sorry, powder just went everywhere. Why do I feel creatively blocked? That can be a prompt. Or it can be like something along the lines of like, why do I feel like I've been so stuck? Or like, how am I feeling right now in this very moment? Like it can be simple prompts like that. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking, like this is the reason I've been feeling this way my whole life. Like it doesn't have to be that deep. Like it can really just be like simple as like, I woke up today with a little bit of anxiety, and like, there's so many things that we can journal about that we can look at in a way that isn't so heavy on us, And I just think that it really takes you actively wanting to learn about why you feel the way you feel and why your healing journey is at where it's at, And it just takes practice, and it takes vigilance. I don't know if that's the right word, but it just takes discernment and wanting to learn more about what there is to heal. And maybe you've gotten to a point in your healing journey where you're like, I feel like I've healed too much. I feel like I've been through too much. I feel like I've seen it all, done it all, blah, blah, blah. No. We never stop changing. And I'm sure you've heard this, but we never stop changing. We never stop growing. We are not the same people that we were 15 minutes ago. 1 minute ago. You are not the same person that you were a second ago. We keep ever changing. We keep growing. Our cells keep developing. We keep constantly evolving. And that's how the aging process happens. You know, it's because we're constantly, every second, every minute, our bones are growing, our cartilage is growing, our brain is developing. Like, there's just constant shifts that are happening within each and every moment. And I think that that's something to keep in mind in the midst of your journey of like maybe why you feel so stagnant. Maybe there's just a part of you that doesn't feel like you're growing. Even though like our bodies are shifting, our bodies are growing, maybe your soul just doesn't feel like it's developing. Maybe your soul just doesn't feel like it's evolving. And say you've done what you feel is all the work. Say that you've put in all the effort in your journey, and say that you have put in all the work that you feel like that you need to put in, and you still feel stagnant. See what other things that you have uncovered already. What is the root of those things? Because I really do feel that there are layers to creativity that involve having to heal. And of course, there's the artists that are like the damaged artists, and they just are addicted to substances, and they're just like addicted to the lifestyle, and they just like, you know, and that is a very, very wounded creative that maybe has seen success but doesn't feel the success, you know? And it really takes wisdom to realize that creativity isn't just something that is coming from a place of wanting it to be seen, wanting it to be acknowledged, wanting fame for it. Creativity is something that we were born with. Creativity was something that we were naturally gifted. Creativity was something that we have been given at birth, you know? Like, creativity is not something that we had to learn, you know? Like, we weren't born like with our parents telling us, okay, so here's this thing called creativity. This is what you do. No. We were literally born with playing with our action figures, playing with our Barbies, freaking, you know, drawing, you know, playing pretend. Like, we were born with these fun little characteristics that we loved, you know, like, and I think that as a child, we had such an easy time being creative because we didn't have to think about it. We didn't have to think so deeply about like, okay, how can I be creative right now? Like, no, we would just draw if we want to draw. We would just climb a tree if we wanted to climb a tree. We would play in the mud. We would swim. We would play pretend. We would play dress up just because we felt like it, you know? Like, it didn't take so much out of us to be creative. We just felt compelled to. And I think that is another layer of advice that I would give to you is if you're struggling with your creativity, if you're struggling with stagnancy within it, do some things that your younger self would do whenever you're bored, and in those moments where you're just maybe watching a show or you're just like scrolling on TikTok or something. Like, maybe if you feel stagnant within those feelings of just feeling like nothing is getting done and you don't know where to start and all this stuff, just think about what younger you would do when you were bored. Would you run outside? Would you jump on a trampoline? Would you go outside and catch butterflies? Would you pick flowers and make a little bouquet? Would you, you know, go to a lake? What is something that younger you would do in order to kind of just like get those creative juices flowing? What is something that just naturally came to you as a kid that you just feel like livened you up inside, made you feel good, made you feel excited, made you feel happy? And I think that when we get into adulthood, we get so wrapped up in everything that comes with being an adult, you know? But we're all just grown children. We, at the end of the day, we're all just the little kids that we used to be, except we have grown parts. That's really the only thing different. Yes, our brains are more developed. Yes, we have a basic understanding of right and wrong, and we have our own morals, and we've had relationships and all that stuff, but like truly we are just the little children that we once were, but grown up. And I think that that is something that we need to keep in mind as we're going on our creative journeys. We just need to remember that the little inner child that lies within us is always going to be within us and is always going to be a part of our creative journey. You know, we need to honor our inner child, and we need to honor what she loved and what he found creative and what they wanted to do for fun. And, you know, and I think like even eating a sweet treat that you used to love as a child, or like I said, going on some sort of fun creative endeavor that you used to do as a kid. Like, I think it really takes the wanting in order to actually actively do it. I think something else that I want to touch on is like we have so much emotion inside of us, so much trauma, so much that has happened to us throughout the past years of our lives. And we have a really hard time figuring out what to do with all of that energy. And we have a hard time trying to figure out what to do with all of that extra weight that is in us and that is on us. And we have a hard time wondering like how to not burst out on people and how to not be dramatic, being dramatic is okay, but learning on how to not be dramatic and reactive to people that maybe don't deserve our explosive reactions. Like I think something that really, really helps aid in that is being creative. And that can literally be just like what I said, in whatever way being creative means to you. If journaling feels creative to you, journal. If drawing stick figures feels creative to you, then draw stick figures, like write poems, like whatever you feel called to do is exactly what you are meant to do. And like I said, it's hard because we might have such conceptualized pent-up feelings about our trauma and about the past and all this stuff, and we might feel a little, just like I said, stagnant, you know, with what's happened in the past, our trauma, what we've experienced. Like there's so many parts of us that don't feel accepted and welcomed, and honestly, the only person that's making you not feel accepted and welcomed is your own self. You are the only one holding you back. Everyone else, you don't know how a stranger is going to accept your trauma. They might accept you exactly as you are, and they might take you exactly as you are because you deserve to be loved regardless of what your past says about you. And if you can accept that you've made mistakes, and if you can take accountability, and if you can learn to alchemize the pain that you have been bestowed upon, then there is so much hope for you. And maybe this doesn't mean that you're going to be like the number one like painter of the world or like best-selling author, but you won't know if you don't try, and you won't know if you don't like release those feelings that you have, like all of this resentment that you have towards the world, or all of this self-loathing that you have towards yourself. There's got to be a way that you know how to actively let it out of your system in a way that is healthy and benefits you and livens you up in the future and makes you excited about life and makes you happy and makes you want to explore more parts of yourself and makes you heal. Because we really can't have a creative journey if we don't heal. And it takes practice, it takes vigilance, it takes discernment of being like, you know what, I've been in this rut for way too long. I've been treating the ones that I love wrong. I've been having all of these pent up feelings for way too long. I've had anxiety buried in my chest for years and I'm ready to let it out. Like, there is a reason why you might be feeling these feelings, and you have to remember to utilize these feelings in a way that you know how. And if that's roller skating, ice skating, going on a run, if that's, reading a series or something to relax, like, I think it really does take just one practice, one day at a time of you actively being like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take my artist on a date. If you read The Artist Way, I'm going to take my artist on a date and I'm going to do something just for me and my artist, aka me, my inner child. I'm just going to be doing something just with me and my artist because I need that right now. I need it to just be me and my artist right now. I need it to just be us. And that is exactly what you need to remember in the midst of everything. Something that I heard a long time ago, and I couldn't tell you, for some reason I was on Kanye West TikTok. I don't know why. I wasn't really complaining, I do respect Kanye West in a lot of ways. But I was on Kanye West TikTok for this period of time. And something that I remember from Kanye West TikTok was he was talking about the unnamed people in society. He was talking about the people that, like, we don't know who made the sidewalk. We don't know who made the mailbox. We don't know who made, for me, I thought about this the other day, who invented the toilet. We don't know the names of these people that have made these innovations that we utilize on our day-to-day basis. And all of these innovations started with a creative idea. All of these innovations started with just one little spark that was within them, that they felt they needed to carry out this vision. And it led to changing lives as they knew it, changing everyone's life as they knew it. Nothing was the same after toilet was invented. Nothing was the same after the sidewalk was invented. Like, nothing was the same after this one person had this innovative idea. And we don't know their names. We don't know their names. Maybe you can look it up. I'm sure that it's there. But, if you were to ask me, I wouldn't know, And Kanye West was pretty much saying how he wants to be that magnificent of an artist, that he wants to kind of be not remembered. He wants the work and the art to speak for itself. And he doesn't feel the need to be remembered as Kanye West. He wants to be forgotten. He doesn't want to be the artist and the big name that everybody knows. Like, he wants to be remembered as someone that left his creative arc on the world. And I think that is such a powerful message for all creatives. I don't think that we should create just because we want to be remembered and just because we want to be acknowledged and just because we want the fame and the money that comes with being a creative. I think we should want to create because we have these innovations within us. We have these ideas. We have these energetic ideas that hold so much weight and that hold such richness within us. And I really think that it takes you wanting to shut down your ego and shut down the side of you that just wants to be acknowledged and seen and famous, and flip it to, I just want to create just to create, and I don't even need to be remembered. I don't even need to be acknowledged. I don't even need to be written in the books. I want to be seen. I want my art to be seen as my art, and I don't need to be acknowledged, because if anything, something else that I feel is that we are just the vehicle of our creative ideas, but the creative ideas are given to us by Spirit, by God. These ideas are not uniquely ours. These ideas are given to us by Spirit, and we are just the vehicle for the creative idea. We are just the messenger. We are just the voice. We are just the hand. We are just the eyes. We are just the brain, like these ideas were passed to us by Spirit because Spirit wanted us, specifically you and specifically me, to make that specific creative idea. But I think something that a lot of artists say is that they can't take credit for the art because they were just the vessel. They were just the vehicle for the art to be explored. But the art itself, that was made by Spirit. That was given to them by Spirit. That was a gift from Spirit. And our gift back to Spirit is actually making the art, is moving forward with making the art, and is moving forward with the idea and accepting that you are the vehicle and accepting that you were given the idea and you are the one that passes it on. You are the one that puts it out into the physical realm. And I think that once we kind of take that pressure off of us a little bit, that it's all of our ideas and it's all of our, it has to be completely on us and all this stuff. Like once we kind of take a little bit of pressure off of us to have to come up with all of these ideas and having to come up with figuring out how to be a perfect artist and all this stuff, once we kind of loosen our grip a little bit and the fact that we have to be the ultimate creative source in order to achieve success or in order to be something or someone, I think when we release that pressure, it flows to us a little easier. And it makes being a creative a little more fun because, hey, if an idea doesn't land in your head, all right, it's not my time yet, But I think when we're patient and when we're actively, journaling or doing fun creative things like going on a walk or, baking something or like doing makeup or something, like I really think that when we do what we can control as being a human, I think the creative ideas flow to us. Sorry, I'm doing lip liner. Flow to us so much easier because, like I said, it relieves the pressure of us constantly feeling like we need to come up with a new original idea or, oh, this is black. I just put on black lip liner. Wow. Okay. Anyway, it relieves the pressure of us constantly feeling like that we have to be original all the time. And it relieves so much pressure in knowing that we don't have to be constantly thinking and overanalyzing and being like, okay, new idea all the time. Like, I think, and I need to take a pause because I need to remove this black lip liner. I think that if we can accept that the creative ideas meant for us will land in our aura in divine timing, we have such a relief of pressure off of our shoulders. But when we do have an idea that chooses us, lands in our lap, wants us to do it, we'll know. Oh, best believe. If you meditate, if you do what you can, like I said, if you can do what you can control, and if you can do something that you feel is meant for your creative artist, your inner child, when you do these basic mundane things, oh my gosh, the creative idea will land in your lap and you'll be like, whoa, I have to execute this right now. I have to do this right now. And then once it comes to life, you'll be like, I'm so glad I did everything that it took to get to this point because I got so much inspiration from when I was baking that cake or from when I was reading that book or, like whenever we do other mini little fun creative things in the midst of like in between two ideas, when the idea actually comes, we have so much inspiration and we have so much like resilience to the excitement and we have so much energy towards that creative thing because we put a lot of time and attentiveness into our inner child. So when it comes to actually bringing something to life and having to use our masculine energy, we can do it with excitement and discernment and vigilance. Vigilance? I feel like I'm not saying that word right, but I keep saying it. I just don't think I'm saying it right at all. You get what I'm trying to say. And last point I want to make is, what do you feel you are a natural at? What do you feel like you've been told as a child that you are a natural at XYZ? And if it's something that you feel attached to, and it's something that you get excited about doing, and it's something that you maybe haven't done in a while, or it's something that you just truly feel connected to, and it's this creative act, follow through with it. See what happens. See what happens when you don't block yourself from that fun creative idea, and see what happens when you don't, put other things before your artist and put other priorities over your inner child. Like, see what happens when you don't ignore it. See what happens when the creative idea comes and you're inspired and you're excited. Just see what happens. Like, oh, my eyelash. Oh, no. Just see what happens when the creative idea lands in your lap and you actually do something with it. Just see what happens. Because a lot of the times we surprise ourselves. And a lot of the times we end up being so happy with the outcome, and we end up being so excited with whatever happened with the idea, and whether it's acknowledged, whether it's seen or not, whether it's whatever the case is, when we actually follow through with the idea that lands in our lap, then we can feel proud of ourselves, and we can be excited, and we can be opening the doors to a new expansive opportunity. My makeup look is done. If you're watching the video, hey. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode about how to tap into your creativity and just allowing it to happen. You don't have to push yourself. You don't have to make yourself feel like that you're doing something wrong. You don't have to force your artist. It'll come to you, and when it does, you'll be so excited that you let it in, and you'll be so excited that you accepted it into your life instead of rejecting it, because all you have to really do is allow it in, and once you allow it in, it'll just keep on flowing, baby. And then stagnancy might happen, blocks might happen, but when they do, you won't be as hard on yourself because you actually allowed the creativity to flow. And once you allow it to flow, when blocks happen, you'll realize, okay, I did everything I could. Now's not the time. Let's move forward with this block. Let's see what we can do. And let's just keep moving forward, keep pushing, and not giving up. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Please tap into the artist way and subscribe to my show. Rate my show 5 stars. And yes, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, stay tuned for episodes every Saturday/Sunday, and I'll talk to you guys next week. And remember to stay